Hi, I'm Lexa Brooks, and the instructional design model that I have chosen that I will be discussing with you today is the Assure model. There are 6 steps to the Assure model. A. Analyze learner characteristics. S. State objectives. S. Select, modify, or design materials. U. Utilize materials. R. Require learner response or participation. And E. Evaluation. Assure. A. Analyze learners. You need to identify your learners' expectations, goals, preferences, and needs so that you can create a blended learning strategy that offers them real-world benefits. S. State goals and objectives. Determine the objectives for your blended learning course, including performance goals. These goals and objectives should clearly state what the learner will be able to do once they complete the class. S. Select, modify, or design materials. Choose online learning content, multimedia, both online and classroom exercises and materials that will serve your training goals and objectives. U. Utilize materials, media, and technology. After choosing the online training content and materials, e-learning professionals must then decide how they are going to utilize these tech tools and online resources most effectively. R. Require learner response and participation. Determine how you can engage learners to encourage them to actively participate in the blended training experience. E. Evaluate and revise. All e-learning strategies are a work in progress due to the fact that technology and learner needs are always evolving. So, evaluate and revise to ensure that it is as beneficial as possible. I feel as if the Assure model best fits my needs because I already used the model to plan lessons and units without even realizing it. On top of participating in the data team process in specific areas with my grade level, as required by my district, I always begin every new lesson or unit by analyzing my learners. I need to assess background knowledge and get to know my students and how they prefer to learn before jumping into a new topic. I then begin every lesson by stating and posting my learning targets and objectives, so my students are well aware of what they are supposed to learn and take away from that lesson, and what my overall goals are for the unit. When I know what my specific standards and learning targets are, I begin gathering the resources I want to utilize in order to engage my class in their learning. My planning includes what I do, we do, you do. I try to use various types of media and cooperative strategies and change things up on a daily basis. By the end of the unit, my students are assessed for their learning and takeaways, and I reflect on how well each lesson and the overall unit went. This model is best suited for me because I believe the Assure model helps streamline my focus areas and helps me meet my students where they are at. This model has had a huge impact on the design process, content, and instructional activities because it focuses on meeting students where they are currently at rather than where they should be. One of the first things I always do at the beginning of the year is get to know my students as learners and how they prefer to receive new material and lessons. I will therefore continue to analyze my learners and document their preferences, needs, and learning styles. I will then use my state standards, grade level objectives, and ELOs to determine what it is I need my learners to be able to do by the end of the unit and clearly communicate those out. Next, I will select the strategies and resources I will utilize for my students to reach said objectives. Strategies will include teacher-led, student-led, and cooperative learning to increase engagement and critical thinking. The strategies will also utilize resources including both multimedia tools and hands-on classroom learning techniques. This will teach to all learning styles as well. Effective instruction will also require learner participation. Finally, I will evaluate and revise each lesson and the overall unit to see if anything could be changed for improvement and student impact. I will use the data to reteach missed content. There are 3 websites that I have found extremely helpful when researching the steps and information of the Assure model. They are educationaltechnology.net, elearningindustry.com, and instructionaldesign.org. And you can find the links to all three of these sites on the next slide.